Hi, Kerry here again, still down at the beach. It's December the 26th. And what I wanted to talk to you about was a revelation. Basically, the stock market's going to open up tomorrow, December 27th, and I don't care what happens. I really don't care. I don't care what happens between now and New Year's, and I don't care what happens in January. It really is of no significance to me because I know the market overall is going to go up. Why? Because there's an unexpected tsunami of money headed for the market, and I just discovered, and no one else is talking about it. No one else is talking about, what is the number? $46 trillion that's headed into our stock market that nobody's talking about. Give you some reference point. Our GDP is 21 trillion. That's the total manufacturing of products created in the United States per year, and I just discovered 46 trillion coming to the stock market. Right after this, I'm going to tell you about it, but first I got to tell you I'm not your financial advisor. In fact, I'm just a retired financial advisor who wants to share some knowledge. Be right back with you.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Okay, let's give you the basis for what I've discovered. There are 79 million baby boomers in the United States. That's my generation. The people born between 1946 and 1964. 79 million of us. We control, we control 58% of the investable assets in the United States, and that represents $14.5 trillion. We also have an average, the average American has $178,000 of life insurance on them. Now, in the baby boomers, though, only 52% of us have any life insurance. So that translates that roughly we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 360,000 on those of us who are insured. We have been paying premiums on that insurance for the last 30 years. Starting next year, we're going to start dying. And those profits, those insurance payments are going to show up in our children's hands. They pass income tax free. Yes, they pass income tax free. So do those investable assets. So we've got insurance of 14.06 trillion heading into the market. We've got investable assets of another 14.5 trillion coming into the market. And then you add to it, we own 44% of all the real estate in the United States, and that amounts to another $17.7 trillion that is coming into the market. This is unexpected. Nobody has been talking about this. I have not read an article about it in the in the Wall Street Journal. I've not heard them talking about it on Bloomberg's. I've not heard them talking about it on CNBC. This is a tsunami of money. As I say, those three assets classes add up to $46.26 trillion. If we average that out over between this year and 1944, when the last baby boomer will die, that's an average of $2.7 trillion coming into the stock market as we move forward. Now, how did this come to my realization? As I said, I'm down, we spend our Christmas and Thanksgiving at the beach. Last month, we were in a house, and it's a 1,500 square foot house, and it came on the market while we were in it. It came on the market for $1.9 million. Again, a 1,500 square foot house, but it's in a very unique community. This is my front yard. So what I realized is they aren't making any more of this. And when that house came on the market, 3 days later, it was sold. It was outrageously priced. A year ago, that same house, two doors down, sold for $1.2 million. This one sold for $1.9 million. Why? Because somebody died, and somebody's mom and dad died, and they got an insurance policy, and they got their stock, and they got their real estate. and they wanted to own one-of-a-kind piece of property, and they bought it sight unseen from Fort Wayne, Indiana. They bought it and put the money down, came down, did an inspection, and closed the deal in a matter of 2 weeks. Sight unseen. The same thing happened now a month later to my daughter-in-law's brother. He bought a house 7 years ago down here for $462,000. He fixed it up. He added on it. I'm guessing it's roughly 2,200 square feet. It's not in this community. It's right down the road. Sold it for $2.4 million to a couple in Chicago. Sight unseen. What do you think happened? Do you think somebody's mommy and daddy died and they collected their share of the $46.26 trillion that's going to change hands between now and 1944? Nobody has factored this cash flow into the stock market. It isn't going to go to pay rent. It isn't going to buy food. The other thing you haven't factored into this, this happened. This happened when the silent generation died and gave money to the baby boomers. They didn't have this kind of wealth. And the other side of it is they had 4 children. Now the boomers only have 2. So fewer people are getting 10 times the amount of money. That's why I'm not worried about a crash in the stock market. Will it happen? Probably. Probably. It always goes up and down. But if you're in the right stocks, if you're in the stocks that are going to take us into the future, what is going to take us into the future? Biotech. We are going to cure diseases. If you haven't been to my channel, you don't know this. But CRISPR is going to take cancer out of my body, out of my granddaughter's body. So cancer will go away. It'll do the same thing to heart disease and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. This is all a part of the new science. And then there's artificial intelligence, and then there's the metaverse. And how are we going to finance that? My generation's going to die. My generation's going to pass on $46.27 trillion. How much money is that? What's our GDP? What's our gross domestic product? 21 trillion. We just generated 46 trillion. Yeah, it's going to take a few years to get that, but it'll average out to be about just shy of $3 trillion a year that we were unexpecting. We expected Joe to get that bill through for helping build the infrastructure. That'll keep coming. But we got another 2.6 that there'll be no taxes on it because we have estate taxes. We're allowed to pass 12.25 million per person. So a couple can do what? $24,500,000. Most of it's going to be in securities and real estate. They all get a step up in basis. So the reality is the stock market can't help but over the next 3, 5, 10, 20 years, but explode because this money has to find a place to be invested. And they're buying houses down here, sight unseen. People are moving in droves to Tennessee, Florida, and Texas. Why? Because you always had to live in the same city or in the same proximity where you worked. That isn't true anymore. That isn't true. So people from Illinois, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles are coming down here sight unseen. And a lot of them, I'm sorry to say, their parents just died. Okay? Think about it. That's what this channel is all about. It's not about NEO. It's not about Tesla. It's about where can you invest? How can you make good, sound investment decisions? How can you then keep more of what you make by understanding our tax code? I do a lot on that because that's a challenge and that's something I believe very strongly in. I own an LLC. I'm buying a house down here. The LLC owns it. We'll get into that another time. And we talk a lot about that on our Discord. So if you want to be a part of our tribe where we talk about those three things, go to Best of Us Investors. Give me your name and your email address, and I'll send you an invitation to become a member of our tribe. We're a pretty exclusive group. We only have about 18,000 members right now. I'll talk to you again soon. The tsunami is coming, but don't worry about the water. It's going to be cash.